want to know how this hangboard was made? I'm gonna tell you right now. First of all, I modeled these holes, because I thought it would be quite difficult to cut them just out of the wood. So I modeled them and will put them into some squared in cuts inside of the wood, instead of making these rounded edges out of wood. So I printed them on my mini delta out of some wood filled PLA, and the surface finish is a little bit rough, and I think they will be great for training on them. Then I cutted some boards into stripes that had the width of the holes plus an extra of around 2 millimeters. Into these stripes I made cutouts for the holes and then aligned everything. Then I glued the stripes and holes together, making sure they were aligned as good as possible. Then I secured everything in place using clamps and left it dry overnight. By the way, I used the scrap pieces of wood you see in the video right now to make sure everything was still aligned as good as possible, and force the strips into a straight position. Then I removed the clamps and used a hammer to remove the pieces of scrap wood I used to push everything in place. Everything I couldn't get away with the hammer, I cut it off with a saw and then started sanding the part with 80 grit sandpaper. I repeated this process 3 times for the different sizes and then arranged those 3 together, secured them in place and cutted everything straight with a jigsaw. I marked the position of the hold bars on the base plate, which I then cutted to its final size. I once again clamped the hold bars together and aligned them on the base plate in their final position. Then I flipped the whole thing over, measured out screw positions on the back of it and drilled holes through it, and secured everything together. I wasn't satisfied by the result, so I added even more screws until the bars were nicely fixed to the back plate. Then I once again sanded everything, this time with 120 and 240 grit sandpaper, until I had pleasing results. So, everything left to do now was to put this thing on the wall. I simply did that by putting 6 screws, 3 on the right and 3 on the left, through the backplate and screwing it directly to the wall. I know this hangboard isn't on the level of a slackboard or beastmaker, but those cost over €100 and this one can be made for nearly nothing. The only things you need are a 3D printer, some basic tools and leftover wood. And for first try, I am quite happy with how it came out. It's quite usable and I really like how it looks. I will also put the STL files of the holes on Thingiverse so you can build your own board. So finally I can just say thanks for watching and see you in the next video.